General Hospital. Port Charles is once again gripped by uncertainty as a series of unexpected events sends shockwaves through the lives of some of its most familiar faces. What begins as an ordinary afternoon quickly turns into a desperate race against time when James suddenly disappears under mysterious circumstances. No one knows exactly who is responsible at first, but growing evidence points toward Cassius, a man whose recent behavior has become increasingly unpredictable. The alarming disappearance leaves everyone scrambling for answers. Panic spreads through the community as friends and family begin searching every possible location. Rumors circulate throughout Port Charles, with each new theory sounding more troubling than the last. While some believe James simply wandered away, others fear something much more deliberate has taken place. As concern grows, Nina notices several details that don't seem to fit together. A brief phone call, an abandoned vehicle, an unusual message all suggest that someone carefully planned these events. Rather than waiting for the authorities to connect the dots, Nina decides to follow her instincts. Her search leads her to an isolated property on the outskirts of town. The silence surrounding the building immediately feels unsettling. Inside, she discovers signs of a struggle. Furniture has been overturned, broken glass covers the floor, and there are clear indications that someone left in a hurry. Then, Nina finds Brennan. He's unconscious and seriously injured, barely able to respond. Although he cannot explain exactly what happened, it is obvious that he tried to stop whoever took James. Nina immediately calls for emergency assistance while doing everything she can to keep Brennan awake until help arrives. Before losing consciousness again, Brennan manages to whisper only a few fragmented words. He warns Nina that Cassius is heading somewhere no one would think to search. Those few words become the only clue investigators have. Meanwhile, Cassius continues moving from place to place, determined to stay one step ahead of everyone searching for him. His motives remain unclear. Some believe he wants leverage against powerful people in Port Charles. Others suspect he is trying to settle unfinished business that stretches back farther than anyone realizes. James, frightened but remarkably brave, begins paying close attention to everything around him. He quietly memorizes roads, landmarks, and conversations, hoping the information will eventually help rescuers find him. Despite the frightening situation, he refuses to lose hope. Back in town, Jason, Dante, Anna, and several others combine their efforts to organize a coordinated search. Every available lead is investigated, surveillance footage is reviewed, witnesses are questioned, and every possible escape route is examined. Jason believes Cassius is making calculated moves instead of acting impulsively. He studies the pattern carefully, convinced that understanding Cassius's next decision is the key to bringing James home safely. Anna approaches the investigation differently. She focuses on Cassius's past relationships, financial records, and recent contacts. Slowly, pieces begin fitting together. The realization changes everything. Instead of searching only for Cassius, investigators begin searching for the unknown accomplice working behind the scenes. That discovery opens an entirely new direction in the investigation and reveals that the situation may be far more complicated than anyone expected. At the hospital, Brennan regains consciousness for brief moments. Although still weak, he remembers additional details. He recalls overhearing part of a conversation involving an old warehouse near the waterfront. The information immediately sends search teams rushing toward the area. Unfortunately, they arrive only minutes too late. The warehouse has already been abandoned. Still, investigators uncover valuable evidence. Tire tracks, discarded supplies, and security footage reveal that Cassius recently left with James, but may have encountered unexpected problems.
As pressure continues building, Cassius begins realizing that every move is narrowing his options. Roads are being monitored. Friends are refusing to answer his calls. Even those who once trusted him are beginning to question whether helping him is worth the risk. James notices the growing tension. He senses that Cassius is becoming increasingly desperate, making small mistakes he never would have made before. Those mistakes may ultimately become the reason the search succeeds. Nina refuses to give up. Although emotionally exhausted from discovering Brennan and worrying about James, she remains determined to see the situation through. She works closely with investigators, reviewing every clue repeatedly until one small detail finally stands out. A receipt. The ordinary piece of paper contains information that points toward a remote lakeside cabin rarely visited during this time of year. Search teams immediately head there, hoping they have finally caught up with Cassius. As officers quietly surround the property, everyone prepares for the possibility of a dangerous confrontation. Every second feels longer than the last. Inside, Cassius realizes the search has reached him. Instead of making another escape, he hesitates. For the first time since everything began, doubt appears on his face. He understands that every decision from this point forward will permanently shape his future. James remains calm despite the uncertainty, believing that help has finally arrived. Outside, Jason, Anna, Dante, and Nina carefully coordinate their next move. Their highest priority is ensuring James returns home safely without placing anyone else in unnecessary danger. The tense moments that follow test everyone's patience and courage. No one knows how Cassius will respond, but one thing is certain: Port Charles will never forget the events that unfolded during this unforgettable search. Even after the immediate crisis comes to an end, difficult questions remain unanswered. Who secretly assisted Cassius? Why was Brennan specifically targeted? Was the disappearance part of a larger plan or only the beginning of something much bigger? Those mysteries promise lasting consequences for everyone involved. Relationships will be tested. Trust will become harder to earn. Long-hidden secrets may finally come to light as investigators continue uncovering the truth behind the shocking chain of events. If you enjoyed this original General Hospital-inspired fan story, share your thoughts about what you think happens next. Could Cassius reveal an even bigger secret? Will Brennan fully recover? And how will these events reshape the future of Port Charles? Be sure to like the video, subscribe for more original General Hospital-inspired stories, and join the conversation in the comments below.